Before I found the Urantia book, I was on a 15-year quest, a religious quest, and it was always bugging me, you know. I wanted to know, there's all these religions, I wanted to know which one was the right one. And whichever one I felt was the right one, that was the one I decided that I wanted to belong to. So I started my search with Christianity. I went into Islam, I went into Buddhism. I started studying the Paramahansa Yogananda and the Bhagavad Gita. And after I studied some other smaller cults and religions, I was left feeling very dissatisfied, so I went back to Christianity, and then I had a list of questions, and I ended up going into about 6 different denominations of Christianity and almost joining everyone. And then I was disappointed again, and then I prayed to God, you know, God, please help me to find the truth. And then a few weeks later I found the Urantia book, and all my list of questions I had was answered. And I realized that after studying the Urantia book for about 2 years that I didn't need a religion, that I could be religious and have a relationship with God. In a scale of 1 to 10, if I was to be asked if you be satisfied with my spiritual needs, I would say 11. It goes above and beyond what I was expecting to find in my search, and it definitely leaves me satisfied every time I look in there. In my quest for truth, the questions that I had when I started my quest was, or during the quest as well, was who really is Jesus? Who was the most dynamic religious teacher to ever come on the planet? Who was Melchizedek? I read the Bible in Hebrews chapter 7 verse 5, I think it was. Talks about this guy Melchizedek having no mother, no father, no beginning of days, no ending of life, not even any genealogy, but remains a priest continually. And I was very perplexed, and I went to many churches asking about Melchizedek, and no one could answer me. And it wasn't until I found the Urantia book that that question was answered. Also, one of my questions was Adam and Eve. I was perplexed about the story of creation, and how did Adam and Eve have Cain and Abel, and then Cain kill his brother, and then go north to the land of Nod and find a wife, you know. And I also wanted to know, where are all these angels coming from? In the scriptures it talks about angels descending and ascending, and even when Jesus was raised from the dead, he ascended. And I wanted to know, where are they ascending to? There must be some plane above the earth that they're coming from, and I wanted to know the location of this plane. I also wanted to know, if God is my Heavenly Father, I wanted to know where my dad lived. There must be a geographical location in the universe where God lives. And none of those questions could be answered, you know. And it wasn't until I found the Urantia book that every single one of those questions was answered above and beyond my expectations. In my appreciation of the Urantia book, and the more I've grown to read it and learn it, I've grown to appreciate the truths in all of the world's religions. And even the Urantia book says that the better path for a religionist is not to disregard or to put down other religions, but to embrace the best truths in other religions. So, for example, I love how the Muslims pray 3 times a day. You know, that's a practice that all people could take on board. I love the way the Buddhists meditate, you know, and the Urantia book talks about being able to still our mind and you know, meditate and go to a higher level. So I think meditation, reflection, prayer and worship are important things, and you find those in every religion in different ways. And in Christianity even talks about when the apostles and the followers of Jesus were praying in the upper chamber and the Spirit of truth came down, you know, that prayer, that was what was responsible for digging deeper channels of spiritual receptivity. So I think in every religion there is beautiful truths that we can embrace without having, you know, major disrepute about what people believe. The teachings from the Urantia book have influenced every aspect of my life, as a parent, as a family member, as a human being in society. And definitely my music has been heavily influenced by the Urantia book. My music has always been about knowledge, about sharing the knowledge I find, about spirituality, social progress, and personal progress, and being positive. And all of those ingredients are found in the Urantia book. You know, in leaps and bounds, you find it in the Urantia book. So for me, finding the Urantia book is almost like winning a lottery. You know, whenever I've had money in my life, I've always been quick to pass it to my family and friends and share it. For me, the Urantia book is the greatest treasure in the world. So obviously, I'm going to want to share this treasure, you know, and the best way I can do that as an artist is to share it through my music. In the present right now, there is a trend that's happening all around the world of unease and people wanting more than they currently have within their religions. Some are calling this the awakening. But whatever it is, there is more and more and more, especially young people who are no longer concerned with outworn religions. And I think there is a void that only the Urantia book can fill in the next 50 to 100 years. And I think that the more people make this revelation come to the awareness of the masses, a lot more people will stop feeling as though they don't belong, you know, in the society of spirituality, you know. For me personally, when I was trying to belong to a Christian religion or a Christian denomination, every time I came to a brick wall, I ended up either getting excommunicated or walking away because I was dissatisfied. Finding the Urantia book allowed me to be truly spiritually free and let me know that all people are my brothers and sisters and I belong to the family of God. And I think that more and more people, as you see, more and more people are no longer joining religions, more and more young people are not signing up to any denomination, more and more people are becoming agnostic because they're dissatisfied with what's available. I think the only thing that is on this planet right now that can fill that gap and give the people that need, fulfill that need, is the Urantia book's revelation. The last thing I would like to say is that finding the Urantia book can be a daunting experience, and it has over 2,000 pages and new terminologies and new names and new dimensions, you know, that we didn't even know existed. You know, before the Urantia book, I only knew about physical and spiritual. You know, there's a new middle term now I know about called Urantia. So I would say to anyone who comes close to the Urantia book and its teachings, take a look in the index. You know, you don't have to start at the back, at the front, go to the back. You don't have to read the whole book to start with. Just look in the index and see if there's something that sparks your interest. And I can guarantee you, if you read that section of the book, even if it's one page, you will see that this is beyond a human composition, and you will be hooked.